Testing, testing. Woo! Okay, what's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I am buzzing today. I'm so excited, but also so nervous to be filming this video. My heart is racing, my ears are burning, because if you couldn't already tell by the title of this video, I'm announcing my first ever brand collaboration. That's right, little old me here on the YouTube putting on the makeups. I'm announcing my first ever brand collab. And I'm excited to announce that I have partnered with Esum Cosmetics on this beautiful and functional 6-piece makeup brush set using brushes from their newly remastered core line. In this video, guys, I'm gonna be showing you all the brushes in this set, giving you guys all the details. It does launch today, August 12th, the day that this video goes live on the Esum website. I'm also gonna tell you a little bit more about their newly remastered core line of brushes. And of course, we're gonna create this beautiful look that I have on my face today using all of the brushes. And real quick, if you are new here, because I'm sure a lot of you are, hi, welcome, my name is Sofia, and I'm not a makeup artist, but I've been obsessed with makeup my entire life. My whole channel is about natural, wearable makeup and having fun with luxury beauty. And I started this channel about 3 years ago so I could connect with people just like you. And if you aren't new, then you already know that a category of beauty that is very important to me is brushes. Maybe this sounds sappy, but I vividly remember purchasing my first ever brush set in middle school. Before social media existed, I was learning how to do my makeup from books and magazine articles, and it didn't matter how many tutorials I did in Allure magazine, nothing changed the game for me like that brush set did. It doesn't matter if you're using drugstore makeup, it doesn't matter if you're using luxury makeup. Investing in the right tools can not only dramatically improve your makeup application, but it also makes makeup more fun. And that's why I talk about brushes so much on this channel. To this day, I will often curate custom brush sets for my mom, my sister, my family, my loved ones. And so I thought to myself, for my first collab, why not do that for you guys, my subscribers? From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and every one of you who've supported my channel over the past 3 years. I really, really appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to end this happy portion of this intro and finally tell you about this collab. Before I get into my brush set specifically, I want to start off by saying that Esum have revamped their core line of brushes. So 12 of the brushes in the line have actually been remastered. They are going to feature upgraded bristles. In my opinion, they're a lot softer, a little bit more luxurious, and also a more refined shape based off the feedback that they receive from their customers. So 12 of the brushes are going to be remastered. And I'm going to point out later in this video which of the ones from my set are remastered versus existing. All of the brushes are going to continue to have the birchwood handles, the hand-rolled ferrules, very durable, very good quality. All of the bristles are hand-tied in a private studio, so you're still getting all of that, but 12 of the brushes have been remastered and improved. My brush set features 3 existing shapes and 3 remastered shapes. I'm gonna go through each of them in just a second. I really wanted to pick not only my favorite brushes, but the shapes that I felt like were the most unique, the most functional, the most multi-purpose, and I really wanted you to be able to get a full face of makeup with just these 6 brushes. If you were to purchase each of these brushes separately, it would cost $150, but the set is going to be sold for $105. And not only that, because I wanted to get you guys as much of a deal as possible, for a limited time, you're going to be able to get an extra 15% off the set with the code Sofia. And not only that, it's also going to count towards the 12 remastered single brushes, which are also going to be sold on the site. So if you just want to get brush singles, I totally get it. The code is also going to work on those. And not only that, there's more. The code is also going to work on all of the makeup that I'm going to be showing you guys later in this video during the demo. So if you want to pick up any of the Esum makeup, the code is also going to work on that. Links and details are all going to be listed in the description box. I think that those are all the details that you need to know. Now let me walk you through each of the brushes in the set. First up, we have the T47. This is one of the newly remastered brushes. This is a small synthetic angled brush, and I chose this because it is such an incredibly multi-purpose face brush. Because it is synthetic, you can use it for powders, you can use it for creams, and I really appreciate the kind of precise, dense, and also angled shape. This is great to use for powder blush application, especially if you have any blushes that are like a little little bit hard to pick up in the pan or not as pigmented. You can also use it for contour because it has this perfect angled shape. You can fit right under the cheekbone. You can use it for highlighter. But what I really like to use this for is with cream and liquid products. Foundation, cream bronzer, cream blush, cream contour. Just wait for the demo, guys. We're literally gonna use this brush for everything. Next up, we have the T59. This is the other face brush in the palette. This is also one of the existing shapes, and it is made of soft synthetic bristles. How fun is this shape? I don't think I have another brush that is shaped like this. I picked this because I just love how airy and wispy this is. When I think about the aesthetic of makeup that I do on my channel, I think of elegant, chic, everyday, fairly natural makeup. And I really like this brush for just kind of like a softer, more natural application. It's so soft, it's so wispy. This is perfect if you have maybe like a bronzer or a blush that's like a little bit too pigmented or kind of vibrant, but you just really want a beautiful wash of color. It's also very multi-purpose. You can use this for all over powder, for blush, for bronzer. Also, because it's flat, you can turn it on its side and use it for contour. You can use it for highlighter, great for blending. This is the perfect little powder brush. Next is the V27. This is one of the remastered brushes. It's made with synthetic fibers, and in my opinion, I think the remastered version is softer and a little bit more precise. I like to call this brush the pinky brush because it is just the most perfect, cutest little precise shader brush that you ever did see. And it kind of has that little like sloping finger-like shape, if you guys know what I mean. It's big enough that you can use it to put a shimmer all over the lid, but it's precise enough that it is just the perfect little shader brush to get right in there into the inner corner, maybe put a little bit of shadow right where you need it, just in the center of the lid. And because it's synthetic, it's also great to use for cream eyeshadow. I actually really like to use this for concealer, for putting a little bit of concealer on a blemish or just kind of, you know, cleaning up around the edges of your look. It's the best. Up next is the S33. This is one of the existing shapes, and it is made of soft goat hair. I knew that I wanted to include in this set at least one crease brush, and this one is perfect to use, you know, for just like your traditional transition shade, but it's also precise enough to add a little bit of very soft and diffused depth on the outer corner. I feel like it's big enough that you can cover a large area, but it's also small enough that you can be precise and works really, really great for hooded eyes as well. Next up, we have the T37. This is also one of the existing shapes, and it is made of soft synthetic fibers. You can certainly use this for a really quick and easy shadow application all over the lid, but what I really like about this brush is the unique angled shape, but also the flat top. So I almost use this like a stamp on the outer corner of the eye, which I'm going to show you in the demo in just a second, to get the perfect kind of winged out smoked shape that you see right here. It's perfect for that. If you ever have any trouble depositing and building up depth in the outer corner and sort of getting the right shape and blend, this guy is going to be your best friend. And lastly, we have the T05. This is another one of the remastered brushes, and this also is made with soft synthetic fibers. This is going to be the ultimate precision brush to snatch up anything that needs to be snatched, okay? It is perfectly straight and flat. I like to use this on the lower lash line. I like to use this to clean up any eyeliner that I messed up. I like to use this to snatch my brows. I like to use this to clean up maybe an uneven lip line. You literally can use it to create any kind of straight or crisp line to get a very professional and neat, crisp look. All right, let's get this party started. I can't wait to show you guys these brushes and how they perform. I'm gonna be doing a full face using the brushes, but also my favorite makeup from Esum Cosmetics. I know that this video is like mostly about the brush set, right? But side note, I really like the makeup from Esum as well. Their formulas are amazing. So I'm excited to show you the makeup also. And remember, all of this stuff is eligible for the limited time 15% off with my code Sofia. So if you want to get any brushes or any of the makeup, the discount works on all of it. And with that, let's get into it. I'm going to start things off by applying my base. I'm going to be using the T47. You can use this for things like powder blush and bronzer, but what I really like this for is cream products. It's great for foundation, foundation, concealer, cream bronzer, cream contour. So I'm gonna kick things off by applying my base, and I'm gonna be using this Fix Cream palette from Ket Cosmetics. This is also sold on the Esum website, and I'm just gonna be mixing these two shades to get my perfect foundation shade. I feel like this looks pretty good. I usually just warm it up on the back of my hand because it is kind of like a very concentrated formula. You really don't need a lot, and I love how this brush, it's like big enough that you can apply your foundation quickly, but precise and angled enough that you can kind of get into like all these little nooks and crannies. You can even use this as a concealer brush just because it is angled, so you can really get in there underneath the eye. And because you have a bunch of different shades in here, you can use this for cream bronzer. We're gonna use this for cream contour in a second. You can sort of mix your perfect shade, which only takes about 2 seconds. Let's get the other cheek right here. I usually like to use nice short brush strokes so I don't get any streaking or anything like that. Just does a really nice job of buffing the product into the skin, really working it into the skin and kind of shearing it out because I don't want to put too much. I'm only using about like half of what I had on my hand there. The Fix Cream from Ket as well, it is like bulletproof. Like this will last all day on your face. And now I am taking the V27. Remember, it's that little shader brush, the pinky brush, and I'm gonna do a little bit of spot concealing just where I need it. I do have a couple of like little blemishes here, a little bit up here. Also great for the tear duct region if you just want to kind of brighten things up right where you need it. I usually just like to take the product and then trace right along here where I have the most darkness under the eyes, and it just kind of lifts everything up. All right, the base is finished. Now I'm gonna bronze things up with the Structure Face Shaper palette. I love this baby for bronzer. I particularly like the fact that most of the shades have kind of like a neutral to like peachy undertone. Very, very flattering. I usually go between these two for bronzer, but sometimes I'll dip into the other ones, maybe like this one for contour or this one for blending. And I'm gonna be using the T59. This is the powder brush for an airy application. I think I'm gonna blend these two together. I think that's probably gonna work out for me right now, just to add a little bit more color into the face. And I like to turn the brush on this side, and then I'll kind of turn it that way to get a little bit closer to the eye and just sort of smooth out the edges. If I wanted to do a contour, which we're gonna be using the cream palette for that in just a second, I would probably go into this shade and I would do more of like one of these situations, if that makes sense. By the way, these powders, they're so smooth. They're so smooth and finely milled. You probably can tell there in the pan. They're like very powdery and they just blend so amazingly. All of these products are produced in Italy. They are talc free. They are also vegan. Also, the palettes are refillable and they are made with eco-friendly recyclable packaging. So I like all of that. It is a bit minimal because these are designed for makeup artists, but as you can see, very easy to use. And I like that I can sort of get my perfect shade. See how this is warm, but it's not like super orange. It has like a nice peachy tone to it. The brush is very airy and soft and just gives like a nice airbrushed application. I'm gonna take a little bit of the lighter ones as well and do like one of these situations to get a little bit more of like that natural toasted look. Okay, so here's the bronzer. What do we think? What do we think? So good, right? I love these bronzers. They are so silky and blendable. And now quickly for contour, I'm gonna go back into the Ket palette with the T47. I think I'm gonna use this shade. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of sculpting underneath the cheekbones. Once again, the shape of this brush just makes it really easy to do so many things. We're gonna do cream blush in just a second, but this is what it would look like if I were to apply some contour. Are you ready for the cream blush palette of my dreams? Look at it. She is truly a beautiful neutral sight to behold. Stop, Ket Cosmetics. If I were to choose 6 neutral cream blushes to put in a palette, I think it would be this, and this is what I'm gonna be putting on my cheeks today, using once again the T47 brush because it works for so many things. I know so many of you guys are probably screaming, please use that deliciously boring neutral one in the corner, so I am gonna start off with that one. This is great for kind of like a cooler tone eye look, which is what I'm gonna be doing today with the eyeshadow palettes. It's so good. It is so good, and you can layer this on top of powders, you can layer it on top of creams. It really doesn't matter. It's so, so good. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna deepen things up just a little bit by going into that stunning rose shade, but still quite neutral, and just applying that more so to the tops of the cheekbones, just to add a little bit of like lift to the face. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit torn on whether or not to use that blush palette or the powder blush palette. This one is called Accentuate from Esum. This one is great if you want, well, number one, if you want a powder formula, same formulation as the bronzer palette that I just showed you, except these colors are gonna be a lot brighter, you know, like more fun, more happy, great for spring and summer. And also I think that this palette pairs really nicely with the T59 because, I mean, not only does this fit perfectly in the pan, but because these are a little bit bright, if you want just like a really nice sheer application, kind of like a nice wash of color of any of these beautiful, vibrant tones, this is gonna be the brush for you. But I really wanted to use the cream palette because I've never used that one on my channel. But just want to give you guys a heads up that this is also a favorite, and this is the brush that I would use. Complexion is finished, and now I'm gonna be getting into the eye look. And of course, I'm gonna be using the Esum Artistry palettes. This one is called Balance. This is gonna be the all matte neutral palette, great for creating pretty much any kind of look. And then this one right here is called Intensity. This is gonna be a beautiful array of shimmers. The mattes are so finely milled and blendable, just like the face powders. And then the shimmers, just wait for it, guys. These are so silky and satiny and divine. I just love them. And usually when I'm creating a look with these, I kind of just follow my heart in terms of the colors, but I do want to point out, just in case you need a little bit more inspiration, if you line these palettes up, you can see each row is a separate color story. So all the way on this side, you have the purple, and then on the very end right here, you have a beautiful cool tone neutral color story. And those are actually the shadows that I'm gonna be using to create this look today. So let's get into it. Actually, before I apply the eyeshadow, I am gonna use the T05 to just quickly do my brows. I'm gonna be using mostly these two shades in the palette just because they're a little bit cooler in tone. And I won't take you through all of me doing my brows because I know it can be very boring, but this little brush, it's great for just kind of getting like that perfect sculpted line. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my brows, so this is great because you can create like little strokes if you need to, or you can kind of crisp up the line, which is great. I'm also taking that brush and the little fix cream, and I'm just going to clean up underside here. I do this pretty much every time I do my makeup, and I love these little precise brushes for like really crisping things up. I don't know why, but I have a lot of like discoloration around my brows, so I feel like this helps really make them look nice and neat. Okay, I feel way more presentable now. Let's get into the eye look. I'm first gonna go into this medium shade in the palette using the S33 brush, just doing a nice little application here in the crease to set a little bit of a base. This isn't gonna be like a crazy eye look, by the way. I am gonna stay true to my style. Something that's wearable, something that I think you guys would do on the daily or just to look cute. I'm gonna show you how you can use these products and these brushes in your everyday. Going into the Intensity palette with the V27, I'm gonna use this stunning shade on the center of the lid. Oh, this is one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's this gorgeous sort of oyster pearl type of color. It's absolutely stunning. This would be a beautiful one and done. I really like that their shimmers, they have a very slightly emollient, creamy feel to them. They're very, very smooth on the eyelids. They don't look dry. There's not a ton of fallout or anything like that. There's no chunky glitter. It's an extremely elegant, good quality formula. I love to pull out this palette if I'm not filming for the day. Like I'm just going out to dinner, going out doing something fun for brunch, and I just want to play with my makeup. I love going into this. And like I said, sometimes I'll follow the color stories, or sometimes I'll just follow my heart and I'll choose whatever colors I want. Next, I'm gonna use the T37, which was that little angled brush, and I'm gonna dip into the deeper shimmer here. And as I mentioned earlier, I really like to use this kind of as like a stamp on the outer eyelid. It's really easy to apply the color and then to just kind of blend it in the direction you want it to go. Because it's that angled shape, it just like fits perfectly in the crook of the eye. Look at that. It's like the perfect light, soft smoke, nothing too heavy, right? And if I wanted to wing it out a little bit, I would just go slightly outside the eye, or if you have more hooded eyes, you could go like this. You just want to be a little bit more precise. You really can use both the S33 and the T37 to add a little bit of intensity. It just depends on how diffused you want it to be. So go with the S33, which has this domed top. It's going to be a little bit easier to blend if you want it to be more diffused, or go in with the T37 if you really want to have more of an opportunity to pack on the color. So I'm going to go in with the T37, and I'm going to use the deepest color in the palette. I just want to add a little more, just a little bit more. You guys can see all of the different shades that are in this row. You can also turn it on its other side and just pick it up with like the tip, and that can be used to then trace that little hollow crease of the eye if you just want to add like a little touch right there. So really, depending on how you turn the brush, it can do multiple things. Using the S33, I'm going to use the lightest shade in that row, and I'm going to just blend all around here to get everything super diffused. And I usually like to flick that lighter shade up here so that I can kind of lift the eye and just clean everything. I'm also going to use the V27 to apply that lightest shade right here to the inner part of the eye. I really want to pack it on because I want to make that area look super duper bright and illuminated. I have here again the T05, and I'm going to go back into this matte. Actually, I might mix it a little bit with the lighter one just to tone it down. And I'm gonna use this for the lower lash line because it's such a very precise and flat and straight brush. It really lets you get super close to the lash line. And then lastly, I'm gonna dip into this gorgeous, bright, shimmering white shadow. And I'm gonna be using the V27 and applying that over the bone shade that I just applied, and just melt that into everything. Oh my goodness. This is such a Sofia shade. It really brightens everything up. Almost done. Next up, I'm going to use one of the dual eye pencils. This one is the brown and citrine. I'll show you guys some swatches of what this looks like. These are very creamy going on, but then once they set, they set. I've done the swatch test, and man, they do not rub off. Obviously they come off with makeup remover, but they're very long lasting, which is my kind of pencil. So I think I'm just gonna do on the top for this look, maybe like a little bit of a wing. That's what I'm feeling today. Let's see if I can do this on camera. Like I said, very creamy. And then once again, I'm gonna take the T05 and I'm gonna use that to blend it out. Really great if you're trying to get super close to the lash line. And you can take the excess and just kind of like flick it up a little bit, like a nice natural type of wing. If you need a little bit more, you can always go like this. Just take it straight from the pencil and then get it in the angle that your eye is like naturally going in. If you mess up, you can also use this brush, dip it into a little bit of concealer or foundation, and you could use this to clean up the lines. You can use it to make the line, you can use it to fix the line if you mess up. It's all good, guys. I do it all the time, so that's also something that I like to use this brush for. And lastly, I'm going to apply the Esum mascara. This is one of the only volumizing mascaras that actually lasts on my lashes without smudging, without flaking. I've been using this pretty much ever since they launched it. It is absolutely amazing. I like the shape of the wand. It's nice and tapered, not too big and bushy, but it adds serious volume. And every time I use this, someone will comment, "What is on your lashes?" because it adds so much beautiful volume. I always reach for this. Well, I mean, I use it regularly, but I always reach for this if I'm going to a special event. I'm doing like a more dramatic eye and I need a lot of volume on the lashes to kind of balance out the drama. See? That's just one coat, so good. All right, and here is the final look using all of the brushes and of course the beautiful Esum makeup products. Everything is gonna be linked down below. Everything is 15% off for a limited time with my code Sofia. All of the details are gonna be down in that description box, friends. I really had a lot of fun creating this look with you today. I'm so excited, I don't even know what else to say other than thank you. Thank you for your support, thank you for watching this video. Whether you subscribed 2 seconds ago or 2 years ago. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I couldn't do this without the support of my subscribers. And also thank you to the Esum team for working with me on this opportunity. You guys have been amazing to work with. You're super sweet. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.